What is some of the common mistakes that you see parents or athletes, go through in this process?
NCAA eligibility is the same for all athletes or being part of the top percentage of your graduating class.
When should a parent start auditing that?
This is not for everyone.
Right.
So there are some that meet with me and they just do transcript evaluations and planning sessions. I'm going to say the line I say all over. Reclassification is not for everyone. Now has had the stigma placed on it. And the people that are playing down, we're talking about.
Or that social media hype, right? And we've seen in college, you get to college,
It's different.
it don't matter.
Oh, we don't have to go play catch up because we were already pushing him from the beginning. And she played Division I basketball, but she got her degree in mental health coaching. So I love people that have been there because they know what we go through.
What you think parents and players should be doing to maintain that level of success?
Who you with?
Game related.
Stay game related, man.
My man.
Stay game related, man.
Stay game related, y'all.
Stay game related, man.
Stay game related.
My man. Stay game related.
Stay game related, man. The best in the business.
Game related, you gotta stay here locked in.
When you make it in life, you always want to give back. Yeah. Same what you doing right now. These kids
Have faith, believe in God. Cool. Just put that work in.
Stay game related, man.
Stay game related, man. Listen, game related, so.
my man.
Yeah, stay game related, y'all.
So stay game related.
Stay game related.
Stay game related. Game related. Stay game related. Stay game related.
All right, stay game related.
Stay game related. Stay game related.
My man. Stay game related.
Stay game related.
All right.
Stay game related, man.
Stay game related.
Stay game related.
Stay game related. All right, my man. Stay game related. Stay game related.
Yeah. Stay game related.
My man.
Stay game related.
My man.
Y'all better stay game related.
When the whole world be waiting for you, but if you want some local shit, you won't even know.
Welcome to Game Related, where we highlight opportunities and obstacles for former athletes with the thought process of giving future generations a better understanding about the game. These conversations are meant to bring awareness to the hardships and opportunities of the game. Let's get game related. All right, y'all, we are back with another episode of Game Related. We are here with Shanay Howard. I'm very excited about this. This is going to bring a different element to the show. She's here to talk to us. Everybody knows her as the reclass lady, right? But she got so much more to bring and offer. And we're excited to have her on the show. Welcome.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. I'm glad we was able to get this together.
Absolutely.
So to the common folks who, let's say they don't know who you are, even though you're blowing up on the internet, give them, an elevator pitch of what you do.
Well, I'm an academic consultant, education consultant by trade that helps families. I come alongside families and help them academically plan for scholarships, in short. But I start as early as middle school age students because academic planning must start. So people started knowing me by reclass. But traditionally, I'm a licensed school counselor. I've been in education 17 years. And so I love helping students and student athletes plan for their future. And once people really get to know me, they realize, oh, she's all about academics.
Yeah.
Reclass was the carrot. I got you in, now you understand what it's really about.
Yeah, real resource. That's what I like to say.
I appreciate that.
So let me ask you this. So we got academics and eligibility, right?
Yep.
What is some of the common mistakes that you see parents or athletes, go through in this process?
Not planning. Like, without a plan, without a structure, even if your student athlete is not reclassing, like, stop there, right? Because reclassification, I've seen the mistakes of that and I've seen some of the benefits. But regardless of it, if you do not have a plan for your child as a future elite student athlete, they're not going to be elite. There's not going to be success. Yes, I know people say there's always exceptions to the rule, right? There's always exceptions to it that they had this natural ability, they got there. But guess what? When they got there, 9 times out of 10, it wasn't successful because if they didn't have a coach or someone that was going to come alongside, they fell to the wayside. So a plan, a structured plan for your child's future must start. I'd say something that is elite starts young. And people think when I say elite starts young, oh, you got to get them in the gym and you got to do this. No, elite starts young when you start telling your child, we're getting up at this time. We're going to bed at this time. We're eating these things. We're not doing these things. We're going to work out. And that starts young. If we're going on a trip, we're going to tell the teacher, we're going to be awake, and we get that information early. So all of those things are what I mean when I say at least start young. But a lot of the times, parents are just paying this money for them to be in a sport that they really don't have an end game for.
Yeah, man, I'm big on habits and hobbies. I definitely think they start young. And I always say at a young age, you can mold your kid. And so you might as well mold them with good principles instead of bad ones, because they're really hard to break once they, get a little bit older and comfortable.
Yes.
So I do got a question. The clearinghouse, right? Like, when should a player or parent start really paying attention, I guess, and registering for that?
Yeah, so you want to register, and now they changed the clearinghouse name to the Eligibility Center, but you want to be looking at that summer 8th grade year, going into 9th grade. And you can get a free profile. But in our sport of basketball, we both played sports. Now the NCAA has made that a part of the BBCS process. So a lot of student athletes don't even realize it, but they are registering for it the moment they become a potential student athlete. For boys, it's 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade. And for girls, it's high school. As soon as you get on a roster, if you play AAU travel ball, your coach goes, oh, you got to get on this BBCS. What that does is automatically connect it to the NCAA account, so they get a free profile.
Okay.
If you're playing on a circuit level or a level, even independent level, that has NCAA live periods, you have registered in the sport of basketball only. Any other sport, you have to actually manually do it yourself.
Okay.
And they did that because there were so many basketball players not registered. But I love that they did that for the sport. They haven't done it for any other sport, but they did it for basketball because we do have live recruiting periods. We do have live sessions, And so they were like, listen, we're going to get to this early, make sure this is a part of their process to even be on a roster for those evaluation weekends.
Okay. And do you just work with basketball or?
No.
Okay.
I work with all student athletes who want to compete at the next level. NCAA eligibility is the same for all athletes. You have to go through the process. You have to be eligible. You have to take core classes. You have to meet the minimum GPA requirements. Now, basketball obviously is something that I'm around a lot because I'm a former Division I basketball player. Yes. But that does not mean I pick and choose. I work with football players. I have a football academy. I work with gymnasts, rowers, you name it. If you can get a scholarship for it, I work with you.
I like it. Now, eligibility-wise, is it the same for D1, D2, D3, NAIA?
No, it's different. So for D1, you have to have a cumulative 2.3 GPA.
Okay.
They also have something called the 10-7 rule at the D1 level. You must complete 10 core classes at the start of your 9th grade year, 10 classes, and 7 of them must be English, math, or science. And you must do that prior to the start of your 7th semester. So prior, and it's usually your senior year, but if you are a reclass student athlete, it's just prior to your 7th semester. A lot of times people don't pay attention to that, and they're automatically deemed ineligible because they repeated a course along that way, and that clock was already going. For D2, you have to have a 2.2 cumulative GPA, and every year a student is in school prior to them starting college will count towards their initial eligibility. So if you did reclass or you did do something, there is no time clock long as it's prior to the start of you enrolling into full-time learning. The NCAA will count that towards D2. So there are some people who would have been D1 eligible, but they didn't get that 10-7 or get this. They end up going D2 by default because that was the eligibility they met. NAIA has its own separate clearinghouse, own separate eligibility, and it's a little bit easier. I'm not going to lie. It is a little bit easier.
Is it the same as JUCO?
JUCO, you just have to graduate high school.
All right, my bad.
And enter. You have to have a high school diploma, and then you can go into JUCO. NAIA, it still has a GPA requirement, which is above a 2.0. But if you have higher, then you don't have to meet some of the other requirements, as in like class rank or being part of the top percentage of your graduating class. But again, I tell students, if you do what you need to do, you're going to be eligible for all levels. But D1 and D2 have the most strenuous, I think, process, and D1 the most. So any athlete I work with, I put them up against the D1 schedule to make sure they're going to be eligible for everything else.
Okay, that's smart. Mm-hmm. All right, so obviously, the transfer portal has obviously trickled down in the high school. If you just watched what's been happening in the last, month? Yeah.
People all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Like, what do parents need to do to make sure that those credits that from that old school transfer over?
Yes. They have to make sure each school a student athlete attends, they have an NCAA core list. They must make sure they went to a school that's accredited. I get that people transfer, but I did a talk not too long ago. The average high school men's basketball player at minimum has gone to 2 schools.
That's crazy.
At the next level, 3.
Right.
Back in our day, we went to 1 school. And I can't get mad at them because I understand sometimes parents learn things, kids, grow up. You want to get them to get you, the best thing for them, but you're averaging 2 schools. So that means 2 transcripts must go to NCAA. Parents forget that. Schools forget that. Every school you attend, you need a transcript. I had a student after I worked with went to 5 schools. You only get 4 years, but he went to 5 different schools. And listen, you know how hard it is to track down 5 transcripts and have them uploaded to the portal? But it was imperative for his eligibility because if they can't see every transcript, they will not count it towards you. State to state transfers. I'm going to school in Virginia. I decided to go to just DC. Different graduation requirements, or Florida, or Arizona. It doesn't matter. Every state has their own grade scale requirements, and the NCAA judges you or does your initial eligibility based on each state, each school's rules, and people forget that.
Wow.
So those are the things I try to really harp on with parents. Like, you can transfer them, but understand their grade scale at that school. If they get a 65, it's failing.
Ooh.
But the grade scale maybe at this other school, a 65 was a D. Right? Some schools under 70 is an F.
Right.
Some schools under 70 is a D. You have to understand the NCAA is going to honor whatever that school's grade scale is.
Okay. So talk about transcripts. You obviously just mentioned it, right? When should a parent start auditing that?
As soon as the kid starts taking high school classes.
Okay. So that's...
You want every time your child sits down to take a high school course, a core class, that it counts towards their initial eligibility or their graduation. So a lot of the times, middle school families, 7th and 8th grade, they start taking some early high school courses. Those courses can count towards their eligibility. So you want to make sure the classes they're taking, even at the middle school level, once it's placed on that high school transcript, that is approved. That means whatever high school my student athlete is going to, if they place that middle school credit there, I have to make sure it's NCAA approved.
Right.
The NCAA doesn't take middle school transcripts.
Right.
They don't take even college transcripts. So at the other end, when you take dual enrollment classes or AP classes, everything has to be on that high school transcript for them to review.
Okay. So let's get into the meat and potatoes, if you don't mind, right? So if I have a son, right, and I want to send them your way, like, what should they expect from you? And like, I know you can't get into all the details, but like, give us, just what would you be doing with them?
Yeah. The first thing I do, and parents get shocked, I will not sit down with a family before I do an academic or transcript review of where they're at.
Okay.
That is my starting place. I have to know what I'm working with. I have to know what you know. And it helps me really understand academically where this family is, right? If you come to me with, no, I don't care about basketball and you helping me get on a circuit team, I'm not the one for you. Because I'm going to come with a holistic approach. So that's the first step. We're going to sit down. And then at that meeting, all the key stakeholders are going to be there. I don't just meet with one person. So I want to know who's part of your team. So it's going to be parents. It's going to be, and the student athlete is going to be there. And I'm going to ask them questions. We're going to sit down and have a conversation. What do you want out of this? What is your ultimate goal? Big question. People will stop. Well, I do want to get a scholarship. I do want to go to the next. Okay, how are we going to get there? What are you willing to do? And I'm asking the 13, the 14. I'm asking the child because if everyone is not a part of the journey, this is not going to work. Every plan is customizable because some kids are further along than others, right? Some kids have experienced the circuit level, right? At junior EYBL or that higher level and leaders or Under Armour, but some are coming from an independent level and transferring. So I have to talk about that.
Yeah.
Where are you psychologically, mentally? What are you willing to sacrifice? And you don't want them to sacrifice so much, but you want them to understand, guess what? The journey to be an elite, it's not for the faint of heart. And everyone's not going to make it.
Right.
So we do discuss that. And if at the end of my conversation, they're like, sign me up, I'm still ready to it, then we're going to navigate that. What academic plans do we have? Are you going into high school? Do you need a homeschool program? I provide that accredited online coursework. We navigate that. These are the classes I want them to take, etc. And we go through that because I'm a licensed school counselor, so I know most scope and sequences of any state towards graduation. But even if they're going into a school, I pull up their school program guide, which many parents have never seen.
Yeah.
And I say, hey, these are the classes I suggest them taking for 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade. I plan out a 4-year scope and sequence. We're going to know what we're doing on the courses. Now, you may change, but I'm going to give you that 4-year plan. We can't just keep thinking in a 1-year plan. We got to think in a 4-year.
I love that. I got 2 questions. The first one is a statement. I love that you bring everybody together in the business world. So like I used to do a lot of work with just big businesses, right?
Mhm.
And one of the things I used to do was I didn't like people working in silos, right? And it gets on a lot of people's nerves, but like I need the CPA in there.
Mhm.
I need your executive team in there. I need your attorneys, right?
Mhm.
I need everybody in here because I need to know that y'all on the same page. And if it's not going to happen, then it's not going to happen just because everybody is one thinking left, one thinking right. So I got to keep everybody together. What I wanted to ask you is, capacity-wise,
Mhm.
you are one person.
I'm one person.
How do you manage I'm sure everybody is, hey, I need this. Like, how are you capacity-wise in handling that?
I'll be very transparent. This is not for everybody. And here's the thing. I don't do this for money or things like that. It's for impact.
Right.
And everybody has to be willing to understand the system. And I do. I cut my calendar off recently.
I saw that.
It's because people are like, oh, you can just keep taking. No, I can't. Because any student athlete and family I work with, I put 110% into the process and I'm giving you my all and I'm doing this. And I have a high percentage of success. And that's because I really devote my time to this.
You probably take pride in that too.
Take pride in it. I want to be crying at graduation. I want to be crying at signing day. I want to be at your first college game. I do take pride. So no, I cannot work with everyone. And to be honest, this is not for everyone.
Right.
So there are some that meet with me and they just do transcript evaluations and planning sessions. And it's honest because families will say, hey, we're not ready for that now. And that's okay. I'm not going to force you. I'm not going to be a recruiting service like, you got to sign up now. No, please don't. Like, only the ones who are ready to go to the next level, we're going to do that. I do have a number that I'll say in my head. I'm like, oh, I'm reached capacity. When I hit that number, hey, I am taking off. A parent asks me, hey, are you going to open your calendar again in October? And I might, but I have to see where I'm at because I'm making sure my student athletes are set. I have students in all different 50 states, right? I have some on the West Coast, some in Massachusetts, some here. So I really do have a capacity, but I do have a community now that I run that you can pay like a subscription or membership where I'm going to be putting things in. So I'm trying to find ways where I can still meet you in the meantime while you're doing that. Because if you pay to be in that community, then I can tell, hey, you're interested in this information. And I might just come back in there and say, hey, I'm ready to take you for a package. But I'm also filtering out the people who want to be the 1%.
Yeah.
This journey is not for everyone, and people don't like to hear that, but everyone wants to play our sport. Everyone wants to get a 1% scholarship. It's a 1% chance.
Right.
So while I would love to give information for free on Instagram and all this, and then I have a community that is a paid subscription, but it is still more information. When you get to me, this is not an option. This is what we're doing. And I tell parents all the time, I can't guarantee a athletic scholarship, but I can guarantee they're going to go to college. Because guess what? I'm leading with academic.
Yeah. I like that. We're going to have to talk off camera about the subscriptions and stuff because I got some ideas too as I'm growing.
Yeah.
I give a lot of information out, just for free. So
yeah, but there's some people that want a little bit more.
Right.
And they're willing to pay for it.
Right.
And that's where I'm going to pour that into it too.
Yeah.
And I want you to be there.
Yeah. So let's get into reclass.
Everybody want it.
I guess we could start with, what's your opinion on it?
I'm going to say the line I say all over. Reclassification is not for everyone. I'm going to repeat it. Shanay Howard said, because sometimes people think I said something else. Reclassification is not for everybody.
Okay.
It really is not. And I'll explain it, right? It is. I've seen the benefits of it, more benefits than not. And I'll be very transparent with you. I have every student that I know having reclass or has worked with me reclass, they play Division I basketball.
Yep.
And I'm not going to drop names because some of y'all don't even know them. But y'all know them, but y'all don't know if they reclass. They play Division I. But I failed to say this in the former when I was talking about parents and everyone coming to the table. Elite student athletes have elite parents. And I'm beginning in year 17 of education to understand if the structure is there and they do decide to do anything academically or anything like a reclass, they got a plan. They got a plan. And I'm just here giving them the legalities or the things that they need behind so they don't jump out of that plan. Reclassification has become so colloquial, so regular, because everyone's like, well, I'm going to reclass it, that person's reclassing. And here's the thing. My opinion here is anything below middle school, what are we doing it for?
Yeah.
To win a trophy?
Yeah. So middle school that's 6th grade?
7th grade. Somebody 6th grade is elementary. I really think a kid, you don't know you're like at 11, they didn't even grow into themselves yet. They're not mature. Now, I know student athletes who have reclassed at 5th and 6th, but they necessarily weren't doing it for sports. They were doing it for academic purposes, or they were switching from a public situation to a private, and they really just didn't know. Like, their parents were a little nervous about academics.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times, all the issues with reclassification, people paying down. I'm not a fan of people playing down, and I don't care. I say it on camera. I'm just not a fan of it because now has had the stigma placed on it. And the people that are playing down, we're talking about rec level, pay-to-play level, and you reclassing? I don't understand. I don't
What's the end goal on that?
What's the end goal?
Right.
And I was talking to Sam, who is one of the directors with Mello, and he said, what's your intent behind that?
Right.
What's your intent? I think reclassification, you're going to think, what's your intent? Now, when we're talking EYB level, circuit level sports, we're having different conversations. And people don't want to have that conversation. You're paying to play and you're dealing with reclass, that's an issue. We're talking about junior EYBL, we're talking EYBL, we're talking top 3 SSB, top Under Armour.
Right.
There are agents at that game. We're talking pro, right? At the junior EYBL level, they're at high school varsity level playing this game. When you get to EYBL level, you're at college level playing the game. And then when you get to 17U, they're looking at pre-pro level playing the game. We're not talking about, yes, I know they're 16, 17. They're agents in the gym, not just college coaches. And so when I'm looking at that and we're talking reclass, we're talking about when are they going to get to the draft? When are they going to be draft eligible? Those are the conversations we're having up there. I'm not talking about when they're going to go play 2055 and win a gold championship at the Nationals.
Right.
These kids don't play Nationals and get chains when they're reclassing. And so it has become so a thing. But a lot of sports have been doing it a long time before basketball. We just have brought the light.
Yeah, it's funny. So when I think about reclass, I think about what you just said. Like the ones who have a plan with it, they're the ones who will succeed. If you're just doing it because your friend did it, I think that's a mess up.
Yep.
I also believe because we came up in a different era, I don't necessarily know. I like it on the back end.
Like
than the front end.
The press aspect, we were kind of talking.
Because you just don't know at that age if they really want to be a basketball player. Personally for me, I'm just speaking for me, I won't take a kid in as far as like working with them until they're like 15, 16. And it's a reason behind that because I know they're serious. Yeah. And a lot of times, I get a lot of asks about, working the younger guys out. Yeah. I'm just like, we just don't know where they at. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing specific that we're going to work on. And, for me, I don't care if you're the best 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grader because so much changes. Yes. Right. And so I'm not really worried or concerned. I just want you to actually love the game. Yeah. So then once we get into it business wise, I know you're not going to quit because you love the game. You love it. You know what I mean? So like that was the one thing. And I wanted to ask you this for AAU, right? Just in our culture, right? Do you think, because reclass has been around forever. Forever. Right. People been holding kindergartners back. Like it's been a thing. Do you think that we just find something to whine about? All the time. Yeah. And we want to talk about it, but I always think it's funny when they whine about it on the internet, but they in my inbox. So how did you do it? Right. You know me? Can't you do that? Like, I'm not going to put people on blast, but the same people that argue, I get as much people that argue, I get twice as much to ask me, can you help me? Can you do this? Can you do it? No. No.
Because it's not for everybody. And I firmly believe you have to have a reason. You have to have a plan. The NCAA says over 550,000 high school student athletes just in America. And 1% are going to play Division I basketball. 1% are going to play D2. About 1.4% are going to play D3. So I always love when parents say, I know they're not a D1 player. They just go D2. Really? How? It's the same 1%.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to go D3. Okay, 1.4%.
Yeah.
Right? They have a stat out there and it's floating. It's about a 7% at all post-secondary levels. JUCO, NAIA, all of them, still 7%. You're talking about hundreds of thousands of student athletes, and we didn't even include the internationals.
Yeah. It's so crazy you say that because I think about that in even just the social media era that we're in, right? Where, kids are becoming, I guess, famous, right? More so than, they're still good players, but they're getting that celebrity tag or that social media hype, right? And we've seen in college, when you get to college,
it's different.
It don't matter. You know what I mean? And you still got to show up. Nobody cares about your likes. Nobody cares about your followers, like them. And so, just trying to keep the kids as humble and the parents as humble as possible. You're stepping into a brand new realm where nobody cares what you did, in
6th grade or 11th. And it's twofold, right? Because we're in this NIL era, and you can get paid for social media, and you can get brand ambassadors. That's why we go back to the plan. Most of the elite families that I have sat down with, they have a hold on their child. They're not just doing anything. They are not spending all the money. They get a percentage of their money. The rest of it's getting put away. They're strategic around every single thing that comes in line with them. And because of that, that child acts accordingly, right? They're not out here let me put my shades on, open my door for me, there are some that will do that because they lack structure.
Right.
And when I see that, I'm like, they're not going to make it past first year. They're not going to do it. And NBA, please. When they're recruiting someone for the NBA and they're starting to scout you, they do go to the EYBL. They do go to the younger age. But they want to know how you progressed. And when you sit down, and there's so many people that are overseas playing basketball who can't get past, some of them may not even get a tryout at the G League because you don't have any personality. You can't pick up plays. You had no plan, right? You don't have the processing to do this next level. And so I often wonder if parents really know what you're asking for in 3rd grade, right? I want them to do this, and they rank 25, and they rank 2 in 2nd grade. Okay. When they get a little deeper voice, and I see a little chest hair, then we can come talk. And when they're in middle school, and you see academically how their processing is, how do they understand? How do they learn? I ask a parent, how does your child learn? Oh yeah, they study it. No, are they visual or they're tactile? Can they get on the court? Can they do this? Because guess what? The NBA scout's going to ask that.
Yeah.
Because if the kid can't pick up plays, guess what? They can't play at the next level. Oh, they don't run no plays. Yes, they do. Kids, it's detailed, right? There's ways to this game, and all of it aligns with a plan.
Mm-hmm. And scouts, I wanted to add this, scouts also will call a custodian, right? And ask, how was that kid when he left the gym? Did he tell you thank you? You know what I mean? They want to know about your character more than, your skills, because everybody's good at that time. So they want good character kids, So, man, that was good. Question, I don't know how much you could get into this, but obviously I seen that you helped Baba and he's reclassing up.
Yep.
Right? What did you do? How did you help him? If whatever you can share.
His family had a plan.
Yes.
And they've always had a plan. From young. They have older children and they have one younger, but they had a plan for him the whole time. And it was not necessarily to reclass up, but it was, hey, he's going to do these academics. They've been a family that's about academics, about their faith, about structure. And key thing, the reason why I love even talking to this family, they're key on keeping him a kid first. So he goes to summer camp. He went to, he goes to his church. He does things for the community. And you know what? I used to be like, wow, this is amazing. But this is on purpose. They're teaching him how to give back, what to do. He did not take contracts early. Those conversations are not even coming to him before he was a certain age.
Yeah.
And yes, on the back end, he was doing a lot of work. People don't notice Papa's doing advanced classwork in the summer while he's playing up in 17U. Why he's doing this? Because he wanted it. He's a kid that always wanted to smoke. If you say I can't do it, I'm going to do more. I'm going to do more in the classroom. I'm going to do it next. But the parents always had a plan. Always could speak to them about academics. Never come back to me like, oh, no, I don't want to. They pay attention in the workshops. They used to tell me every time they get to a parents' workshop, they already knew. Because they were so involved in his academics and so involved in the planning and everything that he's doing that they knew what was next. And so I was a resource just to make sure we stayed on track.
Okay.
Right? Making sure that, hey, if they had an idea, let me think about that. If somebody said, hey, they want him to do this, and this, maybe that's not the best thing academically, strictly academics, nothing else. I didn't have to give any information on any of that, but it's just making sure he was aligned. And if it was an option for him to go up, he could take it. And guess what?
He took it.
That wasn't the plan. The plan was always to challenge him academically. But then when it became more of a reality, it was like, oh, we don't have to go play catch up because we were already pushing him from the beginning.
I love it. All right, so I got a scenario for you, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say a kid gets offered from, I'm going to use my alma mater, Niagara, right? D1, right? So small school D1, but he finds out that he's not eligible, right? And it's going into, I'll say it's November of his senior year, right? Yep. He wants to commit. Like, how are you helping him through that process?
It depends on how he's not eligible. And he wouldn't find out he's not eligible unless he was already placed on the IRL. Mm-hmm. So
what's IRL?
The IRL is the institutional request list. So the reason there are over 1 million student athletes every year deemed ineligible because the NCAA does not pull that report off the eligibility center until almost the end of your senior year. And then they run the academics to do this. What I do is proactive. I'm doing that early.
It is ahead of time.
Because I need you to understand where you're at.
Yeah.
So if a student is a senior and they're going to and they find out, hey, they may be ineligible, and sometimes it's a coach telling them, it's not the NCAA. The NCAA tells you when you're going on that official visit and they're like, hey, you missing some classes. I will say it depends on the class.
Okay.
Because if it's not an English class, which D1 needs 4 Englishes, D2 needs 3, weird, I know. But if it's not that and they still got their 10-7, hey, we can still get eligible.
Okay.
If it's another course and it's something that you can get into, you might not have the time because we're still in first semester in November. You see, I already know I work at a school. Hey, I'm going to see if we can get it online so you can do the 4-year course and you can get that up. If it's a grade issue, I'm going to say you got to give me a name. If it's a credit issue, we're going to take a course and make sure it's something you can pass so you can be eligible. If you did not reclass, you have 4 years, you get an extra class after graduation to take towards your eligibility.
Okay.
So if I have that and I have them times, I can do that. If you did reclass, you don't get that extra year. So therefore, now we got to fix this right now. So you get 4 years plus 1 or 5 years to complete to complete all the things. But that extra class can't count towards the 16. It's just can be towards GPA. A lot of times prep schools these days lie to families and they're like, oh, I'm going to improve his credits and all that. No, you're not. The 16 credits must be completed in the first 4 years of high school. Mm. So anything you're doing past is only improving your GPA.
Okay.
And so all of those factors, I have to know what it is, whether or not I can get you eligible or not, is depending on what class, where you're at academically with the GPA, and how many credits you have. And you will be surprised, it happens more often than not. Like literally today, I'm reviewing the transcript. And I don't like to be the bearer of bad news, but I go, oh, they're ineligible by 1 credit. Mm. But they still have another year. They didn't meet the 10-7, so it automatically is done. Because the 10-7 clock locks your grades after that junior year or that 3rd year of high school. I can't go back.
Okay.
There's no back season. So we try to figure that out based on whatever I got ahead of me.
I got you. So when would you, tell a kid you need to go JUCO or go prep?
If I find out senior year, listen, we got to start looking at some other options. What are we looking at? And here's the thing. If the GPA is good and we're just credit short, D2 is an option, right? If they're that great, hey, D2 is an option. That's a great opportunity for you. But if it's GPA is low and credits, hey, you might need to go JUCO and maybe a Division I JUCO. here's the stipulation here that even JUCOs may lie too.
Okay.
And all this back and forth, JUCO don't count, dude. It always counted, guys.
Right.
It always counted. It had some stipulations for some people, Pavia, but it counted. And they're thinking about adding some rules, but they didn't do it, so it counts. But they'll tell them, hey, you can just come here and you can transfer up, or you can do. No, you can't. If you are non-qualified out of high school, you're going to JUCO for 2 years.
Okay.
If you are qualified out of high school, you could go there for 1 year, depending on the league you're transferring into. SEC has its own rules. ACC, they want people out 2 years out of JUCO. It depends on what you're doing. But if you are non-qualified, you're doing 2 years. Guaranteed, nothing less.
Okay.
So I always love to show them all the different options that's happening. The NCAA changes their rules all the time when it comes to certain things, but use that. I have a host son, and he came to live with me when he was 13 years old. And during COVID, I knew eligibility didn't count. So I graduated him early in his senior year, half the year. And the other half the year, he went to a JUCO.
Okay.
He went to junior college, a D1 JUCO, and I helped with his recruiting. But I knew it wouldn't count against him. So I did that. So knowing the rules helps.
Now, anytime you know the rules, you know what lines to, you know, I definitely feel you on that. So mental health, right? Obviously, you know, I think nowadays it's a lot of pressure on the kids,
Yeah.
social media wise, just performance wise, right? So I don't necessarily know if this is your lane, but like, how do you help kids that are just feeling low?
Yeah.
Right? They didn't get the scholarship they want. They got a few, but they also got to get their grades up. You know what I mean? Like what, I guess, advice or what type of help would you provide for that?
Yeah, I'm big on social emotional health. I'm big on it. I am a licensed counselor. I know I wear a lot of hats, but that is actually what the license is in, school counseling for K to 12. But I'm number one, I'm going to check in on you and what you're doing. And a lot of the times I got blessed to be able to travel with Team Durant for so many years. And while I was there doing academics, I got to talk to them. I got to really see the other side. I'm like, I don't care about the game. Tell me what you're doing. How you feeling? And then I work with a partner. I work with partners with mental health coaches that are great. And I have one that is amazing, and she runs an organization called Athlete Unbothered. I just fell in love with it because it was Athlete Unbothered. And her name is Tisha Womack, and she played Division I basketball, but she got her degree in mental health coaching. So I love people that have been there because they know what we go through. And she went to Seton Hall. Like, she knows the things that you have to do, and she comes alongside the players and gives them coping mechanisms, and she has a mental playbook, and she really does all that. So any family I work with, guess what? They don't even have an option. They're meeting with her because I know what the plan is for them to be elite. So I make them. You're going to have a session with them. You're going to go through her course. That's part of this process.
Okay. Now that's cool. Yeah. Let me ask you this. We done went through quite a bit in a I don't even know. We just been rolling. We've been rolling. Like, is there anything that we haven't talked about that you want to shed light on?
Balance.
Okay.
I think on this journey and in our sport, because we are chasing a dream and we do that, kids miss out. I think about my life.
And being a kid.
I loved to go into church. I loved to go into camp. But I missed some years of camp, right? Because I was traveling for AAU. But I didn't start taking vacations until I was out of college.
Mm-hmm.
And not that I think I should have. There's a work ethic, but I was a really hard worker. And I believe there's some level of balance. Let your kid have some balance. Yes, they do have to train, but not at 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. High school, yes. We're going to take some years and we're going to take some time away from that, but there's still some balance. Let your kid have some balance through the years during the off season. And it's okay for them not to play every weekend. We play too much basketball.
Say that again.
We play too much basketball. And we put it on that's why, my kid can't jump, my kid can't do. They're not recovering. They're not sleeping. They're not, you got them playing every weekend. And they think that's cool. Less weekends. People don't realize at the top levels, there's only a few circuit times. There's 5 sessions.
Yeah.
Oh my God, only 5 tournaments? Yes, only 5 tournaments. Why are we playing every weekend, every time? They need to rest. You need to take it back.
So this goes into a whole nother topic, we could spend, I don't know how long talking about this, but the fact that parents, they feel like they're going to get left behind, right? So they feel like they need to be doing something all the time, right? So that's the first thing that I think parents should know. You're not going to get left behind.
Yeah.
Right? Because I done seen so many kids from 15 to 16 just take off.
Yes.
Right? So that's the first thing. The second thing is I hear parents complain about the cost of everything. And it's the cost of everything because you don't know how to say no.
Yeah, say no.
Right? Like, you don't need to be doing a ton of training, in my opinion. You know, this is my opinion. When you're that young, you just let them enjoy basketball, let them enjoy a sport, play multi-sports, because that will help you get better on the court. You know, and that way training in AAU is a big thing. You said something early on about, I think parents paying for, I think we said pay to play.
Yeah, pay to play teams.
Right. My personal opinion, if your kid is paying to play, he's not good enough yet. It's okay.
It's okay.
It is okay. Just get in the gym. You don't need to be, if you're this is something that I would like to see just collectively in the DMV. Right? We don't need to go to Texas. We don't need to go to, like, when I hear these kids going all over the place at a young age, it's not necessary. Let them bump here. You know what I mean? That way the parents are not paying thousands of dollars.
Plane tickets, hotels, you name it.
You know, like there's a time for that, and it is not when they're young. You know, so like I do enjoy what you're talking about with balance, because, you know, I definitely, once I was done playing basketball, it was like I was relearning who I was and what I actually liked and you know, what I didn't like, and it was like, damn, I got a whole nother. You know, I just put floors in my crib like last week, and that was the first time I used a jigsaw and did all this stuff, and I was just like, I never done this before. You know, and so like you give a kid a chance to be a kid and to grow up.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was cool. I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, my last question. You got anything else?
No, that's really it.
All right, my last question is handling success, right? I ask everybody this. Everybody's trying to get to this certain level, right? But once you get there, maintaining that level of success is a different monster.
It's different.
You know what I mean? Talk about what you think parents and players should be doing to maintain that level of success.
It goes all the way back to the plan, right? We know what we're aspiring to do. We know we want to be at elite level. We know we want to do this. That's where the social emotional strength comes from, where that practice comes from. Because I'll never forget my first Division I practice. I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
We was running, and I was like, why am I doing this to me? Like, I thought I was good. Like, you know,
right.
I thought I was in shape. And it's like, okay. But then you got to the other side, and I'll be very transparent. I was a young freshman, and I got to start at Division I. I earned my spot. I got there. And then I was like, oh, snap, what if I mess up? What if I do this, right? You get there, people are counting on me. Oh, I have a big role. I'm a guard. I got to get the ball. Like, that part of it is what is behind that. What structure, what game plan did you have into that? And that's mental coaching. That's a lot of things, coping mechanisms, setting goals for yourself, being able to handle it and not let it go to your head in a wrong way, an anxious way, but also in the pompous way, right? Like, I'm cocky, like, I got this. No.
Right.
But setting that plan up. And to be honest, I had great help with that. That's why I went into counseling.
Yeah.
I really, to become a counselor, because I was like, wow, I was helped so much by having someone just talk this out with me, set up a plan, and prepare me for my future. And I took that all the way to now. My friends call it Jared Green. I've had the opportunity to know him through one of my friends that I work with at a sports academy. And he calls himself a corporate athlete, right?
Okay.
I love that. I love the terminology. And it's like, we're going to all do something at the end of this day, right? It's all of us not going pro. I tell kids all the time, small percentage. So what are you going to do to get to that level of success? Because it's your definition of success. I feel like by God's grace, I've been very successful. All of it came because it was a plan. And my ultimate plan points back to him. Like, he has designed everything for me, but I have found comfort in that. And the moment I was not there and with that plan, that's when I couldn't handle that success. And so I would encourage everyone to get a plan and really ask the hard questions.
Yeah.
From a young age for laying that out to be successful.
Yeah. That's funny. I was telling one of my coworkers about, so like every morning, I drill my kids on a couple things. I asked them, like, what is having good character? You know, what is having integrity? You know, what is money? You know, money's a tool, right? What do you use money for? Access, information, assets. Like when she come out here, she'll tell you.
Yep.
Right. I'd be drilling them, right? And my coworker was like, she's too young for that. I was like, no. I was like, I was like, you just don't understand them seeds I'm planting for when they get older. So I love that. So I just wanted to thank you for coming on the show. This is
truly a pleasure.
A breath of fresh air. You know, I definitely enjoy you. I definitely understand why everybody is blowing your line up, you know, and I look forward to, you know, collaborating again.
Absolutely. You're doing great work. It is really a pleasure and an honor. I don't take this for granted. I'm just Shanay out here trying to make more impact. So for you to even ask me to come over here is truly an honor. So I do appreciate it.
Appreciate you. All right, y'all. That is it for another episode of Game Related. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, and share. And always stay game related.